How's it going, everybody? You got the Razman coming at you here with another episode of the Razman's Reality. As today we talk about something very, very unexpected that, of course, broke yesterday via Twitter and became official, unfortunately, last night on Monday Night Raw. And that is the retirement of my third favorite performer of all time, behind Chris Jericho and Sting, and just in front of this guy here, KO, Daniel Bryan, also known by his real name and with a moniker in front of it in the wrestling community, in the wrestling world rather, for a long time as the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. For those that don't know, Bryan had a rash of injuries over the last few years, and his most recent injury was a concussion. And this concussion, as we found out last night on Monday Night Raw, succession of them. And when you have a succession of concussions, your time in what you do as an athlete, whether it be a professional wrestler, a football player, a baseball player, a hockey player, NBA player, a boxer, an MMA fighter, is going to be very, very short-lived. And for Daniel Bryan, it was probably several years longer than it should have been. Ended up as 16 years in the business. I was very, very shocked and saddened. I was saddened all day long. And just like almost everyone else, I was holding out hope that this was a work, that WWE was setting up a storyline to help a much needed help WrestleMania this year, and that was not the case. Daniel Bryan, despite numerous reports on numerous video outlets about other doctors clearing him, apparently received news last week of a new test that proved that his head was not, or his brain rather, not just his head, but his brain was not in the shape that he thought it was in. And it was no longer safe for him to perform. Not when he has a wife and a family that he wants to start and a life that he wants to live. Now, some people are going to just be WWE fans. They're going to think that these videos that you're going to see today, the ones that, for those that were able to do them immediately last evening, the social media interaction, they're going to think that all of that was done over a guy whose career barely began. And as I mentioned in the onset, that is not the case. Because Daniel Bryan, as you know him, Bryan Danielson, as he was known for years before he came to WWE, had a 16-year run in this business. And that is why Daniel Bryan is probably the most unique set of circumstances that the business will ever see, because this is a guy who was, for years, the best that the professional wrestling world had in it, and was never given a shot in WWE. Yes, movement began, that Daniel Bryan became the superstar that we know him today, and became the WWE phenomenon that he is today. So that is why it happened. It happened because he, more than anybody else, deserved to be in that top spot. It was not a case of fans trying to force their opinion or trying to force their guy into the spotlight. It truly was about who the best guy in that position could be, and forcing WWE to realize that that was the case. When I think about Bryan Danielson, I think about the classics that he had with Nigel McGuinness and putting Ring of Honor on the map. I think about being unceremoniously fired as a member of the Nexus for just doing what he was supposed to do as a heel in that situation, and instead of being scolded or fined for going a bit too far, they used him as a scapegoat because he was a guy they didn't really want to have in that position. And then the fan outcry that caused him to be rehired as part of Team WWE at SummerSlam. I think about him being the only guy in the history of the business to ever cause an Occupy Raw movement and really force WWE to stop making a bad decision and making a good one for WrestleMania 30, and arguably the single greatest performance in WrestleMania history, defeating in one night the Game Triple H, the Viper Randy Orton, and Batista to become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Really, I could go on for a half hour, 45 minutes, just talking about the accolades of Daniel Bryan. But what we should all take away is his legacy. Daniel Bryan is living proof that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. If you have talent and drive and a will to succeed, you are going to do just that. Whether you remember him as Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, or both, whether you remember him as World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, or I'm the Tag Team Champions. The one thing that remains a constant is that you will not be able to forget Daniel Bryan, the performer. And for that, I say, as the hashtag said, thank you, Daniel Bryan, for everything that you did, and please leave me your thoughts and your memories of his career down below in the description box, or hit me up via social media, and let us reflect on the loss in the ring of another great performer cut down in his prime far too soon. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you all next time.